Hey, I do it for love. Yeah. Yo guys, what is going on? My name is AgeSun75, and really quickly before this video starts, I just want to tell you that this is nothing for YouTube. This is really just a school project, and it wasn't really intended to be anything for YouTube. I just found it easier to do it like this instead of actually having to present it. Plus, it looks cooler. So, yeah. If you guys want to watch this video, go ahead. If you're not interested in it at all, don't worry about it. It's not going to offend me. But if you do watch it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't watch it, do that too. It helps me out. Thanks, guys. The Battle of Fort Washington by Joey and Chris. Events that led up to the American War were the Quartering Act, the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, the closing of the Boston Port, and the Intolerable Acts. Events that led up to the battle. After the British victory of the Battle of White Plains on November 16th, Hessian General William von Knifson and about 3,000 Hessian mercenaries and about 3,000 British redcoats attacked Fort Washington. Throughout the morning, Knifson met stubborn resistance from Patriots, but by the afternoon, the Patriots were overwhelmed. The garrison commander, Colonel Robert McGraw, surrendered. Nearly 3,000 Americans were taken prisoner. Many of the captives died due to deprivation and disease aboard the British ships. Mood and tone of the battle. The battle took place in Manhattan, New York. The date of the battle was Saturday, November 16th, 1776. Significant figures. So, some of the important people during the battle were British General William Howe, the American Colonel Robert McGraw, and Hessian Lieutenant General William von Knifson. The impact of the geography. The Hudson River made Fort Washington hard to reach by sea, and it was a disadvantage to the British. It was a great advantage to the Americans, though. So the huge cliffs were also a big impact. They were a disadvantage to the British because they couldn't get up to the Americans. The Americans placed traps in the Hudson to hopefully stop enemy ships. Some of the traps were sunken ships to, make barricades. Military strategy. So the British military strategy was to use the Hudson River to get to Fort Washington. And when they were pushing the American colonists back into Fort Washington, they were actually forced to surrender. An American trader joined the British and gave Howe the layout of the fort. The British sailed up the Hudson, avoiding all the traps, and they then attacked the fort from 3 different sides and pushed back to the colonists. Statistical information about the battle. So the British and Germany/Hessian forces, they had about 8,000 people. 84 of them were killed, 374 were wounded, and none of them were captured. For the U.S. colonies, on the other hand, there was about 3,000 of them. 59 were killed, 96 were wounded, and 2,837 were captured. That's almost their entire force. So, in the end, the British and Hessian forces defeated the American soldiers in the Battle of Fort Washington. So, let's look at the impact. So, basically, the Battle of Fort Washington was a huge loss to the colonists, but it was a great victory for the British. Defeating Fort Washington gave the British access to many other forts near Washington. The battles of Fort Washington, Fort Lee, and Bunker Hill were some of the most important battles during the American Revolutionary War. So, here's all the sources we used, one of them being from theamericanrevolution.org. It was great because it gave the background information and was also used to give statistic data. And it was credible because it was a .org, it doesn't have any advertisements, and there was also no dead links. So, from history.com, it was used for the military strategy and also information about the fort and 2 opponents. The source had very few ads and no dead links, and the information was correct and mentioned in the other sources. Now, for worldhistoryproject.org, it had no dead links, and it was also a .org, and it gave its own sources at the bottom showing where they found the information. Now, the source was used for the geographic information and gave more details to the story. It explained how the British attacked the fort and gave a better, more detailed story of the battle. So, yeah, all 3 of those are great sources. They really did help us out with this project. Anyways, guys, in the end, I hope you did enjoy. Peace.